to continue to the second speaker, I would like to invite Dr. Didit to deliver his presentations. You have approximately 40 minutes to deliver your speech.
Hello.
So, to Dr. Didit, time is yours.
Thank you to Bu Ruli and Professor Dursidi. Welcome to.
No worries.
Even it's only virtual. So actually, I'm new in ITS. So
Hi.
okay. So anyone can see this? Okay.
Sure. Perfect.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. So to be honest, I'm kind of following Dr. Dursidi title at the beginning of this program. Actually.
Thank you.
You know, like okay, the presenter have this title, and then I'm trying to catch up with this, and here we go. So welcome to my presentation. I would like to call it not like presentation, right? If Dr. CD said is sharing knowledge, I would like to say it is like I have like I want to have a conversation with you actually. Even now it's a 50 people in this room. I really want to talk with you one by one, you know. Okay. But because maybe Bururi will give me a sign, time out, okay.
Sure.
I will start my conversation then. So I will bring up the title with subtitle of why our lifestyle really matters. Include of the topic in the residential lifestyle and smart community. Okay, so I have a quiz, but unfortunately I don't have a door prize for you. Maybe you can ask the staff. So how smart are you? So please write in the chat box. What animal is it? Okay, what animal is it? By the colors, by the the patterns. Okay, so one people here, Pikachu. Oh my god, it's not even animal. Okay, yeah, Pikachu. Okay, any other? Yeah, please. Anything is okay. Pikachu. Okay, let's see. The one. Okay, next. Snake. Oh no. Okay, next. Not really changed. a little bit changed, but can you guess it? How smart are you? Snake, not snake. Okay. Any others? By the colors. Butterfly. Oh, close. Okay. Okay. I'll make it bigger. This one. Moth. Okay. Okay. You are absolutely smart. This is elephant. So sorry. I'm so sorry. This is elephant. Okay. Okay. Next. This is the easiest. The last one. How smart are you? What animal is it? With the colors, so colorful. Yeah. Anyone can guess? What animal is it? Okay, right in chat box.
No clue, Dr. Didit.
Yeah, a clue. Okay, next clue. I'll make it bigger. Okay, how about this? Come on, it's not even animal, man. Okay, this is a dodo. Yeah, dodo is was extinct already from this earth, maybe, but we really hope there's a sign of his resurrection. I don't know, but it's made from plastic. It's made from our waste. It's made from garbage. It's an useless thing actually. This is the event of SDGs in Japan actually. Japan recently have a really intense campaign on the SDGs, and I was so lucky, and then I got the invitation of this GLS SDGs, so I said yes, why not? I'll give what I can, you know. Okay, thank you so much for your participation. Okay, but before, I would like to give some critics to SDGs. Even the SDGs member is not here, maybe. Yeah, the first is maybe why 2030, right? What next? Then there will be 2050, maybe 2100, maybe. I mean that we need a closer targets, really closer target. I mean, we have this 17 target, and then maybe we should at least achieve it at maybe next 2 years or 3 years. Of course, this is my critics. Anyone can have a different opinion maybe. And number two is maybe the numbering. The numbering. I like the number, you know, and the colors is cute. It's a yeah, it's a millennials. You know, but labeling could be very dichotomized. You know, if we talk today, like we have a topic in number 11 today. Okay, so but actually it doesn't mean only we solve the problem in number 11. Okay, and also in the other in the other number and other issues, I think yeah, we need to find a more attractive way rather than numbering actually. Okay, and then no exact measure of how the program and the project achieve. Yeah, unlike the other agreement before, like they have at least 30% of reduction like this. They have a measurement of, for example, Dr. Dosi, Professor Dosi talk about the buildings, the real estate. Do they have this measurement? I think it's still debatable. Okay. I can claim maybe my design is fully SDGs number 11, number 12, but it's just a claim only, right? And then the last one is maybe I think it's still just a wish, recommendation, still a suggestion, means that there's no penalties for not acting this agenda, right? So okay, maybe we can discuss later if you have more critics or if you pro and cons. But I really support SDGs. I mean, I don't really care about the number. I don't really care about giving something, labeling something. But if everything talk about the sustainability, it will become our responsibility. Okay, even architect, even designer, even civil engineer or other engineer, sustainability will be our responsibility. Okay, so let's talk about the smart. Okay, in the beginning of time, smart means intelligent. Like I give you some example of picture in the beginning of this lecture, and then you guess from very less information, right? It's like we're asking to the Google, right? It's asking to the Google with only the keywords, but we can get all of the information, the whole information. And then the intelligence is becoming high technology, right? I mean, the smart meaning become shifting meaning. They have a shift meaning to become the high technology thing. And the other thing is recently smart mean the technology with the intelligence technology with the decision making. For example, we don't need to, we don't need to turn on and turn off the air conditioning, for example, in your room, as long as the sensor of the air conditioning can read the temperature in your room, for example. It means that the air conditioning system have a response, have a decision, have a data on this and make a decision. Okay, then smart community. It's kind of difficult to talk about this because there's like I said before, there's a shifting meaning on the smart thing. Like recently, many things become eco, many things become smart. Many things become AI, like intelligence thing. Like they are selling something. It's a commercialized. But at this point, I would like to give some definition from Japan Alliance that they see that a smart community is a next generation social system. This is the point, to energy and community, right? To energy and community. Actually, only energy and community, but it's a highly widely accepted on the technology that is sustainable. It is the answer for sustainability problem. Okay, next quiz. I know maybe Buruli right now is working on his PhD in Hiroshima, right? So this is easy, a very easy quiz actually. We have Hiroshima here, and the quiz is name one other city targeted on 1945 bombing of Japan. Okay, let's see the chat. Nagasaki, Nagasaki. Okay, everyone know. Okay, any other? No. Yeah, this is actually about my story of research actually. Okay, actually the name of the city is Kitakyushu at the beginning. Okay, at the beginning. at the beginning, the name, the primary target for the bombing in August 1945 is a Kitakyushu city, but U.S. changed their target to Nagasaki because of what? At that time, Kitakyushu was obscured by fog, and air pollution, and since then the U.S. Think that it's not clear enough to drop the bomb visually and not by the radar at that time actually. So they moved the target to Nagasaki. I'm so sorry with people of Nagasaki and Hiroshima, but at that time we Indonesian have the opportunity to get our independence. Okay, and now actually I'm leave. I took my PhD, my doctoral in Kitakyushu actually, and now I'm still living here, waiting for the situation to be easier to go home to Indonesia. But I will tell you a story about the Kitakyushu, and that maybe will inspire Surabaya or other city in other country maybe. Kitakyushu before have a 7-color smoke. They call it 7-color smoke. It's not a rainbow, but it's really dangerous smoke that the color is like a rainbow, and we see the sea of death here. But nowadays after 2000 and even now it's getting clear, and they're like doing the reservation, the environment preservation on the bay, like they digging the soil every years, like still continuing until now. And what is the reason why Kitakyushu become from this color smoke to become this very beautiful and clear sky and the blue sky right now? And actually the problem is because of the housewife. The housewife at that time feels their children, their family get sick and have many they cannot have a healthy life every day. But the problem is their husband is working on this fabric, is working on this company. Actually the smoke came from the company here. It's a big steel company and it still exists until now, but some is moved. Okay, so at that time really they are facing a dilemma between the economic of their family and rather than doing some protest to the government. But they choose to do a protest to government. This is we call the power of housewife, or Indonesia maybe the power of emak-emak. The power of mama. So at the time I decided to after I learned some background about the city of Kitakyushu, then I tried to grasp some understanding about what is really the problem of our environment. Then I find the situation that a lifestyle become really matters in our life. So there's a point here. Our lifestyle have changed many times, of course. Even me, I'm 34 right now. During my age, I feel like there's many things change. Before we don't have like smartphone, we don't have like this video call conversation. Like things change for every maybe 5 years or maybe closer than that recently. And every 1 year, the technology is very fast. Okay, and the second, the lifestyle contribute to the environment. Of course, our lifestyle, what we do, our routine, our daily things is daily life is consuming something. We are wasting something. And third, our lifestyle moving to the higher quality of life. Yeah, because of the quality of life. Every one of you, for example, before, let's take maybe around 10 years before, like we don't have a car, we don't have a bicycle, not bicycle, we don't have a house, with the air conditioning system. But right now we're trying to get a more comfort life. We are becoming we are moving to the higher quality of life. So of course it's part of our lifestyle. And then the last one, lifestyle is then it's connected with before. Our lifestyle are become uncontrollable, and it's very dangerous and really dangerous if we don't take an action. So maybe a bit story about my research studies in Japan. Actually, I came to Japan in 2011. Yeah, 2011. After I do some work in the consultant in Indonesia, and I've got the scholarship here. And until that time, I still think that Indonesia is fine. Right? There's no big deal. There's no big problem with Indonesia. I can live. I can feel like I can eat the very delicious food. I can see my family. We have a happy life in Indonesia. Like if we compare to the right now many conflict area, many other countries still fighting for their freedom. Like we have the freedom. We have almost everything what we got in Indonesia. But the story is different when I came to Japan. That um, every part of the city is clean. Every part of the city is beautiful. I mean, beautiful in another way. Not I don't know how to explain, but as you know, maybe Japan has more advanced if we compare to Indonesia in some part. At that time, I realized that, for example, like ambitious project of the government, like they are building an eco city, they are building a smart cities, smart communities, and eco house and low carbon society and anything. And then I feel like, oh my God, my country is I don't know, maybe 30 years left behind, or I don't know, maybe 50 years left behind at that time. Then I think like, okay, I decide my research. I will do some studies about anything related to the environment. Yeah, because it's really a part of our responsibility as a human being. And I was very lucky that I stay in Kitakyushu University at that time. I accepted in Kitakyushu University, and I was also very lucky. Kitakyushu have a sister city with Surabaya. So at that time, I see the our major at that time, Burisma, face in the Kitakyushu museum. Like an environmental museum in Kitakyushu. So it's a bit surprised, and then I'm trying hard to get my way to do something more to environment in Indonesia. This is my professor. He's very kind. Like he's like my father here. Like if I have problem, I will just always call him there. He have a sub solution. Okay, let's get to the point. So this is the area of our research before. So I decided to do some research on the not exactly smart community, but this is area called smart community, Kitakyushu smart community, and this is include many commercial building, like like shopping mall. There's a shopping mall here, and then natural history museum, and then we have a gas station, solar panel shop, and cogeneration system, and anything in this area. But I at that time I focused on this building. It's not here, but it's part of this smart house. They have a fuel cell, they have a condominium in it. These two building is a part of our research at the time. So I start to researching about what really happened in the housing, in the residential sector at that time. And I think that this problem will probably become a main topic in Indonesia, maybe at least maybe now, maybe 10 or 20 years from now, right? Because at the time, Japan energy consumption is become a problem in Japan. After the great earthquake, so they cut the electricity from the nuclear power plant because of the damage, the Fukushima at the time. And I feel also that time, actually that's the first time I feel such a big earthquake and tsunami, and luckily I'm safe. At that time I was in Tokyo, and it was really scary. And then they changed a lot until now. This is the old data, but I want to show that before that disaster, Japan have a very big distribution on the commercial and residential sector of energy consumption here. And if we see bigger in the energy consumption of the houses, the biggest one maybe the hot water supply. No, the electricity household, and the second is hot water supply. Right, this is become, Japanese house is more like they're trying to make everything electronic. Electronification. There's an electronification of the appliance, the house appliance. Like maybe from now Indonesia is increasing. Like before, people don't really care about having a washing machine in your home, right? You don't really care about having air conditioning system. But now, since the economic is good, then you get to find a better quality of life, of course. Then you buy an oven, you buy an air conditioning, and many stuff like electrical stuff, and it will imply to the our total energy consumption. Then the other is Japan is really like to go to onsen. Onsen, it's a hot water. So I mean, this is not onsen in the house, but normally they always use the hot water for everyday shower. Like some friends of us came to Indonesia at that time, and we don't have a hot water actually, and we feel normal at that time. But Japanese people like feel, oh my god, there's no hot water, like it's a big problem for them. Yeah. And also that's when I start to learn about the housing in Japan. So many types of housing is totally different with our country. Here is maybe more than 50% is apartment, right? Multiple housing rather than this detached housing, because the land price is very high, and not all, not also I don't know, maybe the government gives some support to public housing like this. And then I start my research with the questionnaire, giving the question. At that time we don't have a Google this like now, but even we do like a web questionnaire right now. Actually Japan is very manual people, like they don't really like a digital thing, like they do a very traditional thing, like writing in the paper and else. So it was very very tiring doing this research, because you have to put all of this data in the computer one by one. Yeah. And then I also do some research in Bangkok at the time, not always in Japan, Bangkok, Indonesia, and Shanghai and other city. And this is the research in EcoHouse of Japan. So we targeting the buildings, and we collect the data, and based off from this data, we also doing some analysis. And the other hand, we also do a hearing and questionnaire. And then this data is collected, and we have make some simulation assumption like that. Like for example, this is the eco house in Japan. The problem is, what if we make the same building in the other area of Japan, or maybe in Indonesia, or Malaysia, or Thailand, like that. We do like that. At that time, we have a different target of cities. We have a Kita Kyushu, of course. We have a Jakarta, Bandung, and Semarang. At that time, I don't really have a friends in Surabaya, so Surabaya is not included here. And we have Bangkok and Shanghai. So the point here is the occupancy rate of weekday activities in residential housing. This is the result of that time questionnaire we do. We have done to the for every country is about 100 for every country, and we find very different occupation rate of each country. Like averagely Indonesia have like this. It really depend on also the area, also the time also maybe, but the time is not so related, since they have a routine like this. For example, Japan and China, they have a very very different. China and Indonesia may be similar. I don't know why. Maybe the people culture is close. Maybe I don't know. And Thailand also have a very different pattern in here. I mean that this is very interesting, because it's related with the occupancy rate during the weekday between Monday to Saturday. No, Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday. Yeah. And then people like this is their working time, maybe right? This is working time, and some of them is go home already, maybe their kids, and some of them will go outside again, right? So they maybe they go home in the middle day, and then they go outside again, maybe they are studying on the other place. I don't know. Mostly it's the kids in here. Also, China have the same pattern with Indonesia, but situation is different with Thailand and Japan. In Thailand, if you go outside the house in the beginning of the day, you will become lazy to go home in the middle of the day. You know, like uh, just wait until the sun disappear, and then you get back to the home. Same as Japan, they like to work, they like to have a party after working hours like that. So the occupation rate is really low in here. And then we also travel to this country. We like to see the situation of the real situation of each country, and it's match, you know, it's really match in some part. Like Indonesia, many people at the daytime, but um before Maghrib they went to go home, like before the sunset, where they go home, and others. But different with Thailand at the time, Thai people like do some activity after the works and etc. In Japan also, we have also the gather the question is like the ownership of air conditioning system here. Indonesia have at that time Indonesia have a low ownership of air conditioning system if compared to China and Thailand, because I don't know, maybe the quality of comfort. Everyone think that you cannot live in Thai without air conditioning, so it's become a primary appliance in there. So on the other, and then maybe I will not talk about this because it's research before. But what I want to show you is we have like similar uh, amounts of electricity consumption between Indonesia and Thai, because maybe we are close in geographical condition, maybe. But I think that Thai, in some part of Thai, have a they have like a cooler temperature in some part, but in the Bangkok area they have a very high temperature, like in Jakarta or Surabaya maybe. Also, we do like influential factors, and we find that the most influential factors of this three country is all about related to the lifestyle of their host member, their family member. Like for example, in Indonesia, this is the empirical equation we do. Like we can find the most important factor, the most influential factor by using some equations, and we find that air conditioning system, family member, refrigerator system, and refrigerator, fan use, and cooking pattern and TV use is the most contributed to the energy consumption in the house. It's almost same with China. They have a more family member, and then but the difference is there's income here. So the richer you are, you will spend more energy use. Yeah, in China and Thailand also. They have a floor area different here, and they have cooking also. It's quite kind of interesting here. And then I would like to do maybe in the future I would like to do almost the same question to some area of Indonesia, and this is just part of it, and really hope to we can work together on this, right? So let's get back to this, and then I also stay in this house for at least 1 year at that time. This is a museum actually. This is not a house. This is not ordinary house. So Japan have 21 of eco house models. So I think this is a good approach of Japan, how to campaign the eco house, you know, the eco things to all of the country, all part of the countries. Like I think we Indonesia have a potential to do this. Like they have a local architectural things, like, but they're trying to adopt the new technology, like this car, this H2O cars, like they don't need electricity here, they don't need the gasoline here, they only charge with the water, you know, with the water. because H2O. This is connected because this car is giving the electricity to the house, not the house giving to the car. Okay, good time. And also we stay in this house, and then we we rent actually. Some we bought, some are renting. We uh, we bring up this appliance to this house because this house is actually just a model house, so we cannot do everything without appliance at the time. So we decide to buy and put it in the house, and then we stay for 1 year. I mean, 1 year is like when the museum is closed, we stay at there, you know. So every week we stay at this house, like every Saturday and Sunday only, for a period of 1 year. You know? This is very at that time is very advanced technology used in this house. Like they have a floor heating system. Like you enter the house in the winter, and your feet is directly become warmer, and it's very comfort. They have, of course, solar PV, and this is the specific technology they have. Like they can control the passive and active technology. Also, they have a cool and hot tube um, in the in the base of the house. Okay. So we find that we do many measurements. We have a like during the summer we do this, and the result is like this. Like this house is very succeed in the summer because the energy use is very low. But the problem is the house is have a problem in the winter. You know, like the energy use is double more time, like maybe 3 or 4 times higher. And the investigation also we do with many cases at the time. So we act like a family in this house. And then the other research is we focus on the smart community housing. So this is apartment housing. So we have 12 families here, and then we spend some dialogue with them, and this is what we got. The occupancy is totally different. Also, it's the same. Like even the occupancy is going down, the energy use is not so much change. You know, that's the problem actually. So what I found in this, may I conclude, is the lifestyle. If the lifestyle follows the technology, it will become a comfort, you know. But on the other hand, if the technology can follow the lifestyle, you know, it become a control. So there's a comfort and control that we have to achieve, because if only the comfort, the energy use will become so uncontrollable, and that's the problem actually in Japan case. You know, even we have a very high technology housing, have very high technology appliance, but the problem is our control of the lifestyle itself. And then I give some prospect to Indonesia. Maybe this is the last. I have 4 points of Indonesian solution. Maybe next year it could be different. First, the education effectiveness. Like for now, even the demonstration project in Indonesia is mainly brought up from the foreign country, like Japan. This one, Japan is building something in Indonesia, and I think like we should stop to become a consumer. Like we need a young, educated generation to go home to the hometown. Like we need to build our hometown then, because the main problem is our hometown actually, maybe because there's no people there to contribute to the environment. Also the digitalization. I think in Indonesia the meaning of smart is still something that look very high technology, but actually it's only the digitalization, you know. It's not even smart, I think. So we need a database management to make it decision making. Like we decide to do the home energy. We put the limit on the home energy, for example, like that. And then the other challenge is the rivalry competition among the companies. You know, right now we buy for every appliance, like we have Toshiba, we have a like other maker, we have a Panasonic, and else we have but it's not connected. It's useless. Even the house is eco, even the house is smart, but our electric appliance is different. It's other. It's hard to manage. You know, like for example, recently Google have a collaboration with LG to build Google Home to connected each other. I think that's a good opportunity for Indonesia. And this is maybe some sensitive issues like we should rethinking smart different with other countries. Like, okay, Japan have their own, like they are very modern society, but we Indonesia have a potential of many cultures. We have a traditional. I don't like to call it traditional actually, but it's originally Indonesia actually. Like they have a wooden house that was really sustainable, I think. And you see these people like they're sitting in the front of house that made from bamboo, and also in Bali we have this kind of very like green village. Like so, the local wisdom, religious and spiritual motivation could be our point of start to change to become another level of taking this smart community, like it's not always about high technology. And the last one, I give you some example. For example, approach to motivate the religious people. For example, I'm a Muslim, so I will give only from Quran. Of course, in the other religious, we have a six religion in Indonesia. So for example, in the Quran, this God even said that the earth and sea, we have destroyed the earth and sea, and because of that, maybe He will. God may make them taste the consequence of their action. Not this. I'm not focusing on the consequence, but even I want to say that even religion talk about the earth and sea. The earth and sea always talk about how we human make a destroy our environment. So we have to change our lifestyle, I think. So we need to make a movement together. So where should we start? So this is also the closing. Change our lifestyle and please change the way we treat the earth. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Didit. We maybe give applause to Dr. Didit as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for amazing knowledge sharing because your presentations have successfully made me missing Japan a lot. Okay, so thank you so much to both speakers because we have limited time. So I would like to continue to Q&A sessions. Here, do we have any questions from the participants? All right, we already have one question from Nabila Ramanindita. Nabila Ramanindita from Architecture Department. I think I would like to invite Nabila. Do you want to ask directly to the speakers, please, Nabila?
Okay.
All right. Okay. Hello, Nabila.
Hello.
Okay, Nabila. Okay, Nabila, please, you can ask directly to the speaker.
So I want to ask to Mr. Didit. I have read, I have read some article that said that I want to ask why do people in Tokyo must pay water like in Indonesia PDAM or air ledeng every 2 months, not every month, mostly in Tokyo. And second question,
very specific question.
Is it from an effect from design of apartment only in Tokyo or another city?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Nabila, for the questions. I think it's not only in Tokyo because where I was staying in Hiroshima, I also paid once in 2 months. Yes. Okay, Dr. Didit, please.
Yeah. It's a good question, but unfortunately, I don't have a really maybe right answer. I also pay the water to one time in 2 months, but maybe it's depend on the management of the company, like we not only have one company in Japan to manage the water, like for example, Indonesia, we have only PDAM, right? We only have a PDAM, but we have a PLN also in Indonesia manage about the electricity. But in Japan, there's many private sector included, like maybe 15 or I don't know, maybe more, maybe 30, managing all the need of the people in Japan. And the reason why is maybe I think it's because of the management thing. I think it's only about the economical, like they have the water system is not directly also this is the different thing. Maybe the water they took is mostly from the surface water, like from lake, from the river and else. But in Indonesia the problem is people taking the water from their own land, like they have a very deep pipe touching to the ground of the land, and that's really dangerous for us actually, and it's uncontrollable, like I said. Like, but in the other way, if we depend on the PDAM, like the water company, the infrastructure is not ready yet for this population. I'm so sorry, I don't have an exact answer for that, but I think that is my answer, Nadia. Nabila.
All right, thank you, Dr. Didi. Yeah, Nabila, apologize because it's also I was also curious when I was staying there, but yeah, the thing is like that I think in all cities, not only in Tokyo or Kitakyushu. All right, thank you for the questions, Nabila. And then, do we have any more questions, or is there any participants wants to ask directly to the speakers? You may drop your questions through the chat box or using the raise hand button. Okay, while we are waiting for another questions, I would like to ask very simple questions actually to Dr. Sidi. As you have mentioned, in general, there are, if I'm not mistaken, there are 3 steps or 2 phases for the real estate life cycle. But the world is changing. Like at the moment, we are facing the pandemic, the global pandemic that hasn't over up to now. So, do you think that this pandemic may give any influence on the life cycle of probably not only real estate development, any other developments?
Thank you, Ibu Prativi, for the questions. Yes, this is a good questions for you, for information. And this is a hot topic as well, happen not just within these sharing sessions, but also in my other sharing sessions as well. So what I may say that when we look into the pandemic situations, it will give big impact to the whole global developments. Right. In the meantime, when I mentioned about the whole global developments, it's not just on real estate part, but also related to the process that engage to any activities as long as they engage to the human. And if I'm not mistaken, there are one studies mentions about the corona itself actually previously engaged with the cats. So I'm not sure about that one, but that's an interesting topic as well. So in this situation, back to these questions, I may say that yes, it will give big impact to real estate and as well as the development phases that involved. If for your informations, if I'm not mistaken, they are now looking forward to the next levels of the digital world, right? So in that particular situations, when it comes to the digital world, they will also make sure that the process of to make sure the involvement related to community and real estate will be up to the next levels of we call as pre-developments or pre-real estate, or even there will be a crucial part between these 3 phases. There will be another 2 crucial part, which is pre-development phase and post-recovery phase. So because of the pandemic, they need to do like like preventive as well as preparation. What's next to be happen in that particular situation? So maybe that's a good question. Seriously, that's a good question, and perhaps I can give some answer for that one.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Sidi.
No worries.
Okay, and yeah, do you have any other questions from the participants to both speakers?
Can the speaker ask to the speaker?
Sure, why not?
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah, because I really like to. We hope we have a collaboration in the future.
Sure. No worries.
Like,
Looking forward for that one as well.
yeah, of course. I really want, and also all of the participants here.
Yeah. we open to
It's
all
the
the parties.
time for a collaboration rather than, we're talking about Indonesia, Malaysia, which one is more developed. It's not time
Yeah.
for doing that. Like, mm.
Yeah.
Professor Nursidi, what do
Yep.
you think about the real estate after the pandemic? Is this pandemic have a really a big impact to the real estate that you may be concerned about? What do you
Hey,
think?
thank you, Dr. Didi, for that questions. Okay, in this particular question, we need to reflect back to the global economic situations, right? Because of why I said about global economic situations. Because when it comes to the real estate, it depends on you, which angle that you look into it. If you are the investor, then you can see from the angle of investor. If you are the potential buyer or the one that you want to collect all the asset by yourself, for yourself, then you need to look into that particular situation. Why, again, I mentioned that it reflects to the global economy? Because the real estate themselves involve the value. Then the value is actually engaged with the curve of economics of supply and demands.
Mhm.
All right. And when it comes back to your questions about after the pandemic, to be frank with you, with the current situations, if I may say, most all of the global real estate uh, currently feel the struggles of engaging or managing their asset, their real estate, because of why, again, supply and demand, because of how to maintain that physical and how the transitions happen from the physical engagement towards the digital world. That is why, if I may say, be frank, yes, after the pandemic, most of the professional practices outside there looking forward to duplicate, or we call as one of the research called, if I'm not mistaken, twin digital tech. You need to change the physical to the digital world, and they try to create the value and supply demand through that digital world, to at least the value still can appreciate the physical asset of that real estate.
Yeah.
So that's another coming. There are few research that is actually ongoing about that one. So for the first point, yes, give big impact because of the pandemic. From the point of investor, their concerns about economic volatility and the engagement between countries to countries, and then the foreign exchange, and then in local situations, yes, the struggle to get, let's say, the simple situations of like if you have the property, right? So it's quite difficult to get a new tenant, example, because of the pandemic. There are two situations. You yourself quite worried to accept the tenants, and then tenants have no idea the source of income to pay for the tenancy rate, right? So the next step that we are trying to, as a professional point of view, to handle this kind of situations is actually to create awareness about those who are involved in real estate professions, to make sure that they create an awareness to all the community, to make sure that after the pandemic solved, example, perhaps, pray to God, after the pandemic settles, right, at least we are ready to adopt a new engagement, new scenario, new activities, and so on. So for those who are looking forward to buy a new property and so on, I think I may say, yes, this is the time. If you have capital, if you have cap, this is the time. But you need to think more than normal practice.
Yeah.
Meaning that yes, you need to synchronize and think more because of the current scenario. Right, to make sure that you are actually really gain asset, not gain liability.
Yeah.
Right?
Many unpredictable things will come in.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So even me and my team as a professional, let's say we try to divide to another as a professional, real estate professional, we are currently need to create an alternative way of gaining asset, as well as to make sure that we are not caught with liabilities with our current assets.
Yeah.
All right.
Like maybe for example, in the sector of the I talk about the energy use, for example.
Yes.
The people before this pandemic, we focus on how to make it sustainable, like how to lower the energy use in the house, how to make it a low carbon society.
Exactly.
Then the pandemic comes, bam, and then it's
Yeah.
like you should open the door, even you turn on the air conditioning. Like,
Betul.
oh my god, it's not efficient anymore. Like
Yeah.
we have to to right now we have two, right? Two problems, which is
Yeah.
the pandemic and sustainability. Maybe in the
Exactly.
future we have three. Maybe we have a war.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At this moment, we can say we are actually in the war situations.
yeah, in the
It
middle
comes-
of war.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, nice discussion.
we should prepare. We should prepare for the unpredicted situation.
Yeah, we should prepare for uncertainty. Even we should advise ourselves. We should prep ourselves to make sure for every decision that we are going to take, we have alternative for that potential position decision that we are going to take.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe we can have another spot of sharing, Dr. Didit.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you so
Nice
much.
to talk with you.
All right.
No worries.
And probably one short question from me because in my understanding, your Dr. Lidit's study was very interesting. I mean, did you share or give your questionnaire only to the health of the family, or any family member can answer the questions? And did you also try to probably check based on the results based on the gender?
Yeah. It's I got this from my professor actually. If you want to get the very effective feedback, you go to the school. You know, you go to the school. It's an elementary school, and give this envelope, give this paper to each of the student. Like give it. I mean, we give the big questionnaire box to the head of the school first, and the head of the school give it to the first class, second class, until sixth class, and then the teacher will give it like homework, homework for the students. Okay, students, we have a homework to do this, and then please give it to your mom. Okay, your mom or your dad, anyone is okay. At least they can read the kanji and they can answer the question. They know the energy consumption. You know, like in Japan, we have we have a paper of energy consumption for every house. So every housewife know about that. So it's really effective way to get the answer. Like we do printing like 100 of a questionnaire, and then for one school, and we go to that school only because in here elementary school is many students, not like Indonesia. It's hundreds, more than 100 students here, and then they give it back to us, and then it's like we're not doing nothing until the questionnaire coming to us, and because it's it's manually right, and we have to put 1, 2, 3, like, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Didit. So I think because of the time limit, I have to finish the QA sessions. Once again, thank you so much for both speakers. I hope that the sharing sessions can broaden our knowledge related to this topic, and I hope everyone is still safe and also you can keep your health. And we'll meet again in the next GLS SDG session. So I return the time to the MC for today's session. Thank you.
Thank you, Luli. Thank you, Luli.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Prof. Nusidi.
Welcome. Thank you to you too, Dr. Didit.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ibu Nuli, for conducting this